Well, Eichel got the money I thought he would. He gets $10 million a year for 8 years, $80 million contract. I'd honestly expected a 9-year contract, but who's going to quibble over a year? It's a deal that Buffalo had to make. So what I've read online is there's two reactions. There's Buffalo fans saying, good, our star player is going to stay for 8 more years after this one. And there are fans saying he hasn't scored enough points to warrant this kind of money. They're throwing bad money after good. This is hilarious. And of course, Leafs fans piling on with he's not even as good as Austin Matthews, and comparing the points scored by Eichel to the points scored by Matthews in their rookie seasons. So here's the problem. The laughter by fans who say my player is better than Eichel, I don't care who it is, the asking price of the player in question is now over $10 million a year. This is the reality now, that a star player, a superstar player, is worth $10 million. If you want to keep a superstar, it's 10 mil. And it's only going to go up. I saw a couple comments about how here comes a lockout. This is another contract. It's going to lead to a lockout. And I don't really have anything to argue about there, because Buffalo's a team that routinely hasn't made the amount of money that they need to give money. They receive money from other teams. They're usually a have-not. So this $10 million a year contract really takes a bite out of their budget. And on rare occasions, they've been at the cap, but usually they've been below it. So it's going to be tough. It's going to be tough for Buffalo, once this contract kicks in, to get a really good team around Eichel. But I think they'll get it done. And I say that because we don't know Botterill. We don't know Botterill. We can guess that Phil Housley should be an effective coach. We can guess that Phil Housley is going to get the job done as coach, but we don't know Botterill. And really, we don't know Housley either, because Housley hasn't coached at the NHL level. So Buffalo's really going on faith in a lot of ways right now. And I don't know. See, here's the thing. So every team has their young cores, and every team locks up their young core. And the question that I ask myself, and I see this Eichel deal, and again I'm asking myself this question. Yes, there's a talented young core, but is it a core that can win a Stanley Cup? You can lasso these players together, and you can get them all tied down to long-term contracts. But what if they're not good enough? And I don't say that to be a naysayer. I say it because I think with contracts like this, McDavid's, Draisaitl's, and the upcoming contract mess that's going to be Toronto, what happens when these young guys don't develop very well? Like, how ugly could it get? And I'm not saying Eichel. I'm just looking at this preponderance of evidence, all these contracts, and not every young star player is a young star into their mid and late 20s. You're going to have guys who come into the league and they're fantastic and they flame out. And you're going to have guys who come into the league and look promising and you give them some money and they don't work out either. Or you're going to have guys who start out slow and then they take over at year 3 and year 4 of their careers and become that superstar player. I'm wondering how this is going to look years down the road in terms of contracts and where everybody is and what everybody makes. You guys can let me know in the comment section below. Is this worth it? I'll give you my opinion. Yes. Buffalo had to keep Eichel. They could not afford to lose Eichel, much the same as the New York Islanders cannot afford to lose John Tavares. So now that Eichel signed long-term, the one domino I'm waiting to fall is really Tavares. And I expect him to sign with the Islanders, and I expect it to be soon. But, it's going to be up to him in the end, and it's going to be a question of whether or not he feels that team can win. Because, again, you sign all of these guys long-term, great. But do you have a team that can win? That becomes the main question. And there are certain players getting the money and getting paid big money whose teams have proven it. And that's why I'm okay with some of these guys with their big money contracts, like a Kopitar or like Taves or Kane. They've won championships. They've proven they can win Stanley Cups. We don't know with some of these young kids. And at least one of these contracts will probably end up being a huge buyout. I'm not saying it's here, but it's going to be interesting to see what happens. I wish Eichel the best, and I wish the Sabres the best. Because really, for the NHL, a healthy Buffalo Sabres is good for hockey. Because Buffalo is a hockey town. It sounds like a hockey town. It looks like a hockey town when you watch games on TV. And it is one of those cities that when I think I would like to do a tour of NHL rinks. Buffalo, Boston, Madison Square Garden. Those are three I want to hit. Absolutely. I'd love to go Buffalo, Boston, New York. Not in that order, of course. Be more Boston, New York, Boston, Buffalo, New York. But that's something that's on my bucket list. And of course, Detroit with their new arena as well. So let me know what you guys think. Hit like and subscribe if you're browsing your way through. Thank you so much for watching. And on a note to anybody who's a new subscriber, anybody who's browsing their way through, this channel tends to be kind of low tech. Because that's the way it is. I don't try to be like other channels. And that's the way that it's going to stay. So, there's that. Thanks for watching. I'll talk to you again soon.